how does that work? Most people would say, being married and working that close together.
I wouldn't want to do this kind of work with anybody but him.
Is that right? Yeah.
He's a really, really good chef, and he's a good kitchen manager, and he's a really kind person. And he gets a little temperamental at times, like most chefs do, but he always apologizes.
Oh, that's sweet. That's good to know. I've never had an issue with him.
He's a lot of fun. I will say, owning the business with your partner, that's a little bit more challenging than working for somebody else. Because it gets a little, because I was always the general manager at Rope Walk, so he actually worked for me. So I was the boss at work, and I let him be the boss at home. Just, because I get tired of being the boss.
Yeah.
And so now
you're bossing everybody else around.
Now it gets a little confusing, like, well, who's the boss now? Are we at home? Are we talking about work? Are we talking about, personal things? But we're working on it. We like being where we are, and the Downy Flake. At times I miss the Rope Walk terribly and beat on the water. My God, it was like working in a picture.
Oh, gosh.
But we're very lucky to be at the Downy Flake. It's a godsend, and we're having fun at it.
Now, it was your first restaurant, though.
Our first one we owned.
Your first one. First of both of you owned.
Yeah, first of.
How did that all come about?
That was Joe had lost the lease at the Rope Walk,
right?
And we had tried a couple other smaller projects, and the fall of 2013, Mark and Susan, who had owned the restaurant previously and who had been there for 16 years, they just decided they wanted to enjoy life and retire, and it was a pretty quick decision. It wasn't something that they belabored. It was time, and it was in October, just about this time actually, and we own the business. We leased the building from Karsten,
right?
And Mark had told Karsten about it, and we were still, we still hung on the water, and we're taking a walk down on the docks, and this time of year was beautiful. I remember, and Karsten ran into Ron, and he said, "I think, Mark and Susan are leaving. Would you be interested?"
Wow!
And it took off from there. So it happened pretty quickly.
Funny how things fall into place, right?
It fell into place, and it's been a big change. It's small,
right? But
I will say that in some ways it's been the most challenging professional experience I've had.
Oh, I bet.
Because breakfast is a whole different animal. Trying to get people there, and
yes,
I always say. There's a lot of bad karma sometimes before 7 o'clock in the morning. Just it's a restaurant. Someone doesn't show up. Something's broken.
Right.
The deliveries are. We get a call from the U.S. Foods, and the delivery's not going to come. But whatever. It's that's a challenge. And then trying to keep the Downy Flake the same.
Yes.
But at the same time. Change it. Everything has to change.
I like the changes you've added. I love them.
And so it's a difficult balance. I mean, we weigh everything that we do. And
would you ever consider? Did you ever consider doing dinners? Could you?
We could.
You could.
We've talked about it, and we've gotten Carson's permission. But it helps the next situation. I mean, we don't have enough people to be barely doing what we're doing, so
exactly. I mean, how much can you put breakfast, lunch, and dinner? That would be. You love working.
We love working. Yeah. I mean, we wouldn't do that. 10 months out of the year.
Because the way you've run it in the past is usually you take off 2 months, right? Normally. We
do. We actually go for closer to 2.5 to 3, and that again has been because it's been a vicious circle. It's because we've been short of help,
right,
and we need the time to rest, but because we really don't rest when we're closed. We do all our own painting and cleaning, and we're catching up on things we can't get done because we haven't had enough help while we were open. Right. So it becomes a vicious circle, And then if you don't have the people in April, open the doors.
Exactly, and that doesn't help.
No,
I mean, people expect it to be open.
You know, ideally, I would like to be closed only a month and a half or 2 months.
Right. Keep it as short as possible.
Yeah, I would
because
like
you
to
want
open,
that regular.
March 17th, I thought it would be fun to open on St. Patrick's Day. But I don't want anybody to think we're going to open this year at St. Patrick's Day.
Do you know when you'll open for next year? Not yet?
We'll aim for April 1st.
April 1st.
Yeah.
Is that the way it's always been for the flag?
They actually used to stay open. Mark and Susan stayed open longer. I think they took it almost to the end of January and open like 1st of April.
Yeah, right,
so
right around there.
We've curtailed the January part. But what we do is fun on the last day. We donate the proceeds from the dining room part of the restaurant to the Marta Lamb Cancer Travel Fund. That's a big thing in Key West. The restaurants all adopt a fund, and we've actually used that with some of our staff. You know, we've had to transport them to Boston for that sort of cancer treatment over the years. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, right.
And so we picked that as our fund, and we do that on our last day, and it brings a lot of people out, and it's if you can be happy in the middle of January and donating to a big cause.
That's a good thing you do, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, as far as Key West goes, how long you been down there? I mean,
well, Ron's been there since right out of
right.
Since like 5
so it's
years.
when you guys met, he had a place.
He had a place with a bunch of partners. They bought a house when they were young men, and they thought it was a good idea to buy a house, which it was. When we got married and asked to be bought out, because we actually wanted to go to the Outer Banks. I like the Outer Banks a lot. And we were sort of hoping then at that point we both still had parents alive in the DC areas that would have been worked out great. And I love the Outer Banks in the wintertime too. But it started this with the guys, I should deserve this, you should deserve that, whatever. 2 years and 2 lawyers later, we just bought them all out. And we ended up with the house, and and actually Key West has grown on me. I like it.
You do.
I do.
But
like
if you sell it, then you'll buy something here, and then you'll be stuck here in the rat race.
Yeah, we have to.
Don't you need a place to get away to?
We do.
Would you just rent down there?
We actually already rent.
I see.
We started renting when we bought the Downey Flake, because we only go down there now for a couple weeks.
So the house you own is a rent. You already rented.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Because we only get away for a couple weeks.
I see. That makes sense. That totally makes sense.
But we'll see. We'll see. We're hoping for against hope for for some kind of resolution to the work and travel program and the housing issue.
Is that any closer to being resolved?
I don't believe so. I haven't. Actually, it's sort of on my to-do list is to get in touch with my agent, because I haven't really. It's been just getting through each day.
You need an agent even to do this?
The rules. Years and years and years ago, I used to process my own visas. When I did the visas for both the club car and the road walk.
I see.
But now the rules change so much now. Every year they change. You have to have somebody who's a full-time job. I mean, I do a lot of the legwork for it, and that's. So when you
go to an agent, and that agent says, well, here's the people I have that you could hire.
No, you have to find your own people.
Oh, okay.
That's not allowed
okay.
at
So
all.
Yeah, how do you find them?
Well, for years when I was at Rope Walk, we had the same people coming every year.
Right.
Or someone comes and they don't come, but they send their sister, or their nephew, or their cousin, whatever. So
there were plenty of people that would love to come.
Yeah. Right. So that was one of the great things about Rope Walk. We had like this family. I mean, it was a big restaurant, but we had a family of people that
kept coming.
Yeah. 40%.
But today it's not that way. They don't keep coming back.
Well, they can't get visas,
That's the reason.
Yeah, and then
they get one visa one year, and the next year it's such a hassle for them to try to get through.
They can't get through, and there's a health problem here in Nantucket. I mean, we don't have a labor pool, but I think it's more prevailing. I mean, just across the nation that people in our country don't want to do manual labor anymore. So. And this is manual labor, but
I don't get it. There's some people that are illegal, there's a lot of people that are illegal, and I can understand that, you know, they're working here and they're illegal. But when it comes to you and what you require, that's not illegal. You're doing it legally, and you still can't get people to work for you. That's
I don't think people should be illegal. I'd like to see that the whole immigration problem in this country resolved.
How would you resolve it?
I would give the people who are here amnesty.
You would?
Yeah, I would, and get everybody on board.
And then then shut the door.
And then keep
the door shut.
And kick out the people who it's probably the one thing I agree with Mr. Trump on, is that we shouldn't have the bad people here. Let's vet them, and let's fingerprint them, and let's give everybody a chance who wants to,
and start fresh with a really strict rules about how do you get in here, but then keep it open enough so that people can come and go the way they used to.
Yeah,
I hear you. Gosh,
it's I don't, if they shut down even the student worker program, I don't know what Stop and Shop's going to do. I'm assuming they have.
Right, that's a whole other.
Somebody.
True.
Big shot over there that's worrying about it.
Well, they probably have someone that's all they do.
Yeah.
That's all they do is go and find people.
I mean, I don't know how I'm going to keep this little 48-seat restaurant going.
How many people do you have working for you?
Oh, only 25. 25? 25.
That's on the payroll.
Yeah.
And then, maybe 10, 15 people on at a time.
Yeah. And it goes down in the wintertime.
And it goes down, yeah.
But
when you go and look for somebody to work for you, do you put an ad in the paper in like the Bulgarian Times or something?
So this is what happened when we found out in March that the H-2B visa capped, because they used to only let 33,000 for the winter season and 33,000 for the summer season. And what the main problem we had this past few years, and definitely this past year, is that we used to have a returning workers exemption. So if you had an H-2B visa sometime within the last 3 years, you didn't count against the cap. Well, that is something that has to be renewed every few years, and Congress did not renew it last year. So everybody applied for an April 1st start date, which is when the first day you can apply for the summer season. And, by March 15th, it was capped. So Downy Flake has always used April 1st, but everybody used April 1st. I don't blame them. And it was just, it was just the luck of the draw. And when your application lands at the Department of Labor, which is where we have to prove first that we need help, it just depends on whose desk your paperwork falls. Some agents work more timely than others. Well, by March 15th, I knew we were going to get our people. So. But
do people in Jamaica, you know people that say, okay, file, and then we'll get it to the agent? You look for the person yourself.
I look for the person, and then we prove to the Department of Labor that we need people.
I see, yeah.
And then once we get that approval, it goes to INS, UCIS.
Yeah.
And then that takes only 2 weeks. We pay a premium processing fee.
Oh, okay.
Then the paperwork goes to the embassy, wherever you're looking for your help. And by then, the communication about actually hiring people, we do that ourselves. So when we get the approval, then they take it from there, and on their end, they have to go to the embassy and be interviewed and actually get their visa.
So how long would you say it would take you to find the person and get them here?
Well,
so overall, if it went smoothly at this point, how long?
It takes 4 months.
4 months?
Yeah. 4 at a minimum. I mean, we're already thinking about who we're going to hire.
Exactly.
And if, how we're going to do this. But so last March, we had just gotten in Key West. We were just getting ready to relax for a couple weeks, and we found out, we got the news that we weren't going to get our help. And so I was depressed about it for a day, and then I got on to Craigslist. We put ads in 18 different places across the country.
Oh, that's a good spot, isn't it?
At three different times, and we've hired maybe 5 people off of that ad at different times, and we have, out of those 5 people, we have 1 of them still with us. So,
is that because they Are they from other countries and they can come here and then?
They're not from other countries.
They're from here.
They were U.S. students.
I see.
Yeah.
Now,
US
other countries, are they more likely to move on like that, or are they more willing to be dedicated to you?
They're dedicated.
Yeah,
they're dedicated. I have. Well, now he's a U.S. citizen now, but he was a dishwasher for us and did maintenance, and he's a U.S. citizen because he has children here that came to this country and are in the service, and that's how he got his green card. But he has worked for me for 20, 21 years. Nice. So
he's loyal.
Loyal. Yeah. We have a gentleman cooking eggs right now who also is a U.S. citizen, but his older brother and older sister, that's how we found him, came to me.
Where are they from?
They're from Jamaica.
Jamaica, yeah.
But they were on H-2B visas with me at Rope Walk for years.
Yeah,
so
gosh.
There's still a little bit of a family going on here. And of course. I'm lucky to have the front of house staff that have been here for years.
Oh, so I know.
It's a nice mix.
It is
a really nice
mix. And it's a Nantucket tradition. My first memories of Nantucket were going to the Downey Fight in the 80s. Yeah. And it's been around for how many years?
Since
really?
83 years.
83 years.
1935.
That is amazing.
And I think we're the fifth set of
Is that donut sign really original? Or is that... I mean, that was there in the downtown.
Yeah, I'll have to ask Karsten. He would know when that's the original donut.
I know it. Patty, it's great. Awesome. I'm so glad we did this.
I know, I am too.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. And I wish you the best, and don't give up your second home. That's my advice. Keep that place. If you can. I know it's difficult.
We'll see.
It's difficult, but...
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I was in the Stop and Shop last night. This is a good story. And the girl was doing something that was checking me out, and she caught herself and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I said, "Look, it's not. You relax. It's time for us to relax. We don't." And she looked at me and she was like, "Oh, that's so true." And it really is. It's time for us to relax again.
It's Daffodil on one end and Columbus.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right.
See you, honey.
Yep.
Take care.
Yep.